You're listening to 1069 Click FM, live in color.
Folks, might I say, it has been one of those days, and this is sorely needed. So, this afternoon's edition of Ass Talk is brought to you by Screw City Lager from the Prairie Street Brewing Company. You never forget your first trip to Screw City, and if you do, maybe you weren't there to begin with. Oh. Yeah, I think we should start with that because that was the big news of the day. First, MKI, question for you. I was shocked as hell when I heard about this. I mean, I think there had been rumors teased for a couple years before about him retiring, but I usually thought that was, some kind of salary negotiation thing that somebody was slipping to the media. Was this a surprise to y'all? Oh, good. Oh, good. I have something new to add to my rundown for the LA Rams, which I'm going to be completely honest with all of you. I had such a hard time remembering today that the Rams existed. So, have to update that just a little bit and get this down and deal with the cat who has been part of the reason why I need a beer today. So this act that she's giving you right now is just that. It's an act. Do not believe a word of it. It is all lies. Oh man. But damn, man, that is a rough thing, and now something that the Rams will have to consider as part of their off-season plans. Replacing Aaron Donald. Damn. I didn't realize that I had forgotten to write it down. Not a surprise to you because he was flirting with retirement years ago. You usually forget the Titans exist. For a while it was them and the Atlanta Falcons, but after watching the Gong show that Atlanta has kind of been for the past 5 years, you can't help but remember them, to be honest. It was also a business decision for the Rams. Oh, and yeah, she has been naughty today. So, essentially, she's getting the worst thing possible. She is being ignored for as long as possible. And because of that and other reasons, I apologize if I end up biting anybody's head off today in chat. I'm kind of a little on edge. We'll just leave it there. Not any one particular thing, but just one of those days where a whole bunch of things add up, like the Killing Joke, except I don't think I'm going to be buying any makeup anytime soon, or sticking my head in a vat of acid, in case you're wondering, just so we can put that out there. Well, In the NHL, the only thing that I'm really focused on now is how I think the current potential uh, first round of the playoffs will go for the National Hockey League. And right now, what stands out to me, Maple Leafs either got to go through the Panthers or the Bruins, and I'm not sure that they can do it still. Like it's a it's a prove it year, and I think some of the Toronto media people, I don't know if that includes Steve Dangle or not, are trying to float the idea that if the Leafs don't at least make the damn cup this year or make some greater progression than the first round, then Brendan Shanahan's going to get fired. I think it'll take a lot more than that to get him fired. 65 million over the next 2 years, no offset on guarantees, structured to let him retire after 2023 with no penalty. If he decides to play in 2024, he'll get another 30 million. Possible with 30 million exiting the 2024 cap. The Rams want to kick some of it to next year, which could happen if they were officially process the retirement after June 1st. Okay. So there's all sorts of things happening. Yeah. Now they gotta deal with that consequence, but hopefully they were considering that in their free agency and draft planning. You know, in case of emergency, break this glass and draft these players, or maybe more specifically, this position. But like I said, we will get there when we get there. And I think it only fair that since, they are the team that I have thrown my hat into the ring for, that we start with what I think are, the important things for the Lions. First on the line, Benito Jones is gone. He was one of our defensive tackles. He did, I think, a great job. Every once in a while, he would get through for some QB pressure, but he was more of a run stopper up the middle. So, a little heartbroken to see him go. We've also lost Mr. Gardner Johnson, who came back just a little too late, as well as Jonah Jackson, one of our O linemen, who has gone to the LA Rams, and will hopefully either be protecting Matthew Stafford or QB of the future, Jimmy Garoppolo. So, yeah, we've got a few positions to deal with, and the one that we were all thinking we were going to have to face up to anyway was cornerback, secondary. And so we signed Amik Robertson, gave him a 2-year deal. I hope he could stay as productive for us as he was for the Raiders, I guess. I just hope that he's not like a Diggs for Dallas, big interception and big play guy, but gets burned more often than not. So that's my hesitation on him. We also got Carlton Davis from Tampa Bay. We gave them two 6th-round picks and actually got a 3rd from them. So, he's another one I am wait and see on as well. Though I do really like these two things. The signing of DJ Reader, because, we need somebody on the inside. And, between him and Aleem McNeil, who has a nasty habit of getting to the QB, I like the choice, but there is going to be a little breath being held in the back of my mind. And it was being held in hope that he will not get injured again, because he had a severe quad injury, took him out for, I think, a good part of the season when he was on the Bengals last year. And yeah, you might be able to see how I'd be nervous about that. You know, I like the decision, but I'm going to be holding my breath in the back of my mind. And let's be honest, it's probably the same way that all of you hold your breath for any player on your team who is recovering from a major injury. I also like us re-signing Graham Glasgow, another one of our O linemen. He can play center. We've put him in other positions before just to fill in. I think it's good because, hey, we need O line depth always. The one that I don't get is us signing Marcus Davenport. I feel like he's going to be that signing where we get him for a few games and then lose him quickly. Oh, you want to talk about the Bears? Oh, the Bears. Oh, the Bears. We'll bring them up next, I think. Yeah, Arizona has a habit of doing weird things all the time, Luke. Angie's always sassy. How but why? They have no QB to throw him the ball. Yeah, I'm not focusing on the draft right now. I'm not factoring any of that into these things. So I'm just focusing on who they've picked up so far. And so far, Detroit could be better, could be worse. Meanwhile, the Bears. They get Keenan Allen for a 4th-round pick. All right. So add to that, getting DeAndre Swift, who I still think is a great running back if he doesn't have to carry the load, to lower his risk of injury. Combined with them adding O-line depth with Ryan Bates and Matt Pryor. Pryor is kind of like an Elton Jenkins guy, can play pretty much anywhere on the line except center. And Ryan Bates they'd been trying to get him since 2022, apparently, when he was with the Bills. And, of course, the most important thing, they got Brett Rippon, so obviously the Bears are going to the Super Bowl. And all the other signings that they had, Kevin Byard, Gerald Everett, Tarvarius Moore, and Amen Abongbemiga, they're all, let's hope they know what they're doing. I'll wait and see before I reserve judgment kind of thing. Well, while we're in this folder, we'll just go to the Minnesota Vikings. Why the hell not? So, things that I like. They shored up their O-line depth. They have gotten Aaron Jones for a year. Got some picks for Kirk Cousins. So they managed to keep their 1st-round pick while doing it as well. They also got a 1st-rounder from this whole shenanigan. But Sam Darnold. Yeah. Van Ginkel, Blick, Cashman, Jerry Tillery, Trent Sherfield, all of these, they all have qualifications on them, whether it's good player but injury risks, older veteran, prove it deal, or backup to backup, but just in case. So far the Vikings, I'm not sure what to make of them. You're not worried about Keenan Allen? No, I don't blame you. Oh yeah, no, I hadn't even thought about the wide receivers. You know, I just uh, I just think the Bears would be wise to, remember that they have a run game that exists besides Justin Fields. And he basically did not play the first 12 games. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, only one for a year for 7 million. It's, kind of a sure why not thing, but then looking at everything else, it's all like short-term solutions. I this is starting to feel like a real lost year for the Vikings. Let's hope it's not true, but maybe it is. We're going to hold off on Green Bay for a little bit, just so you can build up what possible awful thing I'm going to say inside your own head, and then maybe be let down later. Who knows? So we move on, to the Atlanta Falcons. They have Kirk Cousins now, and they also got Darnell Mooney on a 3-year deal, as well as Charlie Warner for some extra tight end depth. He's more of a blocker. But they did get Ray MacLeod from San Francisco on a 2-year, $6 million deal. Sure, let's just hope they decide to focus on, O-line and D-line positions in the draft. Protect whatever quarterback they have back there. So far, everything's kind of up, down, up and down, up and down. Nothing really standing out. Okay, Michael A. Taylor signing a 1-year deal with the Pirates. I didn't know that they had money. All right, let's see. Where do we go next? Yeah, what the hell? We're already in the South. We'll go to the Buccaneers. I was actually surprised in a good way. I saw they had re-signed Mayfield and Evans, but they also re-signed Jordan Whitehead, who took a pay cut. Apparently, last 2-year deal that he got with them was for $14 million, but he took it at 10.5 this time. So, I mean, cool of him to do that to stick around for the team. And apparently, they have a kicker now whose name is Chase McLaughlin. Best of luck to him, whoever he is. Panthers. This is another one where I understand what they're going for, but I feel they're kind of going about the wrong way. What I like about what the Panthers have done, they signed a couple of guards, Robert Hunt, formerly the Dolphins, and Damian Lewis, both of them getting a good amount of guaranteed money. Show that you're really invested in the offensive line. Josie Jewell, dude is considered a ball hawk, so I think they're going to do okay with him. Everybody else seems like either a risk on development or a 1-year rental, and that includes Deontay Johnson, which, yeah, he may be good, but I think he just might be a weapon for Bryce Young to lose after a season. You could take your claws out of my leg, Angie. We're not talking about the Chargers yet. First, the New Orleans Saints. All right. First of all, thumbs up to the Saints organization for finally releasing Michael Thomas. And if teams are smart, they will not give him big or guaranteed contracts. Other than getting Willie Gay for a 1-year deal and Nathan Peterman replacing famous Jameis, Cedric Wilson Jr. gets a 2-year deal from them. And other than that, they are just kind of there. I mean, so far the winner by default is kind of the New Orleans Saints just because they haven't done too much. So, oh boy. While they're up here, let's start with the Rams. Replacing Aaron Donald. Yeah, big thing on their minds, and well, we'll see how they deal with it. But uh, I think the best thing that I think the Rams have done is get Jonah Jackson there once again, help for the line. Get some safety help from Cameron Curl. Bringing back Darius Williams is okay, I suppose. And then, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo off to the NFC Championship to battle the Bears. That's where this season is heading. Absolutely. Hey, wait till you see how the free agency musical chairs has turned out for some other teams. Mm-hmm. Hey, commercials are acting. It's cool. You think Kobe Turner will be AD's successor? Well, hey, best of luck to him. Absolutely. All right, let's go to the rest of the West. And yeah, we'll hit the Arizona Cardinals. And once again, the Cardinals look like they're doing pretty well by not doing much at all. They replace one of their injured O linemen with Jonah Williams, bring in linebacker Max Wilson Sr. for a 3-year deal, and then Bilal Nicholas, edge rusher, was very productive for the Raiders last year, but I'm wondering how he will do now that he's not going to be alongside Max Crosby, because that gave him the benefit of a lot of one-on-one matchups. All right. How about, yeah, we'll do the San Francisco 49ers. Absolutely. All right. I'm sure the fans would understand these picks better than I would. This is essentially them doing their best to rebuild their defensive line. It looks like 2 edge rushers, 2 tackles. On the edge, Leonard Floyd, tackle, Malik Collins, edge, Yetur Gross Matos, coming over from Carolina. Now he can actually play his position instead of being a modified linebacker. And tackle Jordan Elliott from the hellhole that is Cleveland, getting a 2-year deal for $10 million. All over on the Seattle Seahawks, like they've re-signed a number of players, for everybody that they've lost, Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. But they're trying to fill at least one of those gaps with the signing of Rayshon Jenkins from the Jags, who got cut recently. They're giving Pharaoh Brown a chance after his last year with the Pats. And now I think they gain a third center in Nick Harris. So, they'll have some competition at the position. Good for them. And Darrell Taylor, linebacker, he has an incentive-laden contract for an oft-injured player. And yeah, we'll go to the East. I think we'll save the Packers for the end of the NFC. That seems only fair. So, Dallas Cowboys. Wow. I had no idea that Van Der Esch had injured his neck and got replaced by a converted safety during the season last year. So, damn, no wonder the Cowboys had trouble. So then they get Eric Kendricks and the Vikings defensive coordinator as well, and that's really it. So, yeah, Dallas Cowboys. You could either say, well, they're not doing enough, or maybe they have other things they're focusing on, like keeping Jerry from walking into traffic. Um, Brace yourself, William. Yeah. Are you serious? The Alouettes said no to Justin Fields. I I would tune in if Justin Fields went and played for the Edmonton Elks. I would tune in for those games. But now, New York Giants time. Brian Burns signed for 5 years, 150 million. I like. Devin Singletary. You know, what the hell? Why not? They get Jack Stoll, a blocking tight end from Philly. You can never have enough blocking tight ends. Gunnar Olszewski is going to get some return competition with a signing of Isaiah McKenzie from the Colts. I'm still surprised John Runyon is going to be joining the Giants. Let's hope he, stays healthy. And yeah, Drew Lock. Maybe he'll get back to the first round with Drew Lock. Oh, wait, Tyrod Taylor's not there anymore. Damn. Well, that trick won't work. The Giants massively overpaid Runyon. Ooh. Oh boy. Okay. That I think that may tell me all I need to know. Yes, Angie, we'll be reaching the AFC soon. So if you need to hide, now would be the time to do it. Oh yeah, don't worry, we'll get to Tyrod. But for now, the Philadelphia Eagles, I just wrote for Saquon Barkley and his 3-year contract my initial reaction, which was simply, holy shit. I'm also confused about how the Jets let Bryce Huff just walk away, but 3-year contract for him. I'm a little confused. I'm a little iffy about Zach Bond, looking at his time with the Saints. And then they signed Matt Hennessy, who spent all of 2023 on the injured reserve. So, fingers crossed for him. And now we get to a really fun one. The Washington Commanders. Wow. Like, as I was writing all these down, copying them over, I was surprised to discover how long I had been doing it. Runyon is okay, but not $10 million a year. Okay, yeah. So it is also weird because it kind of feels like a team that you would send out to face the Washington Generals or something like that. It's that equivalent because Marcus Mariota on a 1-year rental, Bobby Wagner on a 1-year rental, Zach Ertz coming in, and they also have their new assistant general manager is the Lions' former senior director of player personnel. He also brought along Anthony Pittman for special teams help to Washington. So, they took away Baltimore's long snapper Tyler Ott with a 3-year deal. Oh, they have all the reason, Luke, but we will talk about it soon. Yeah, I saw Austin Eckler. Yeah. Well, let's hope at least that Jeremy Chin works out. He's another 1-year rental. They have another 1 year for Clellan Ferrell. Fourth team in 4 years for him. they have given Dorrance Armstrong, from formerly of the Cowboys, 3 years at $45 million. So apparently they're planning on making him like a new centerpiece of their defensive line now that they gave away their their entire defensive line. Uh, but Dan Quinn did bring Dante Fowler Jr. from Dallas, so I suppose that makes up for it. Uh, yeah, it also just truly hit me as I was looking things up today that Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn are in Washington. Yeah, as somebody who lived near DC for most of my life, yeah, you would not. You you would not. You probably wouldn't want to live around there. Couple nice areas, but let's be honest, just I will simply say it's something that's a little bit contagious, but not in a good way. All right, so let's start in the West with the LA Chargers. Um, yeah, a lot of people left the Chargers, so I I limited my list to the stuff that they did get, the people they did get, which were Hayden Hurst from Carolina and Gus the Bus from Baltimore, and tight end Will Disley from Seattle. And yeah, I'm probably going to be saying acquired from the Chargers a lot when I'm looking at players in future games. Oakland Raiders, the most important, of course, the only two that we worry about. Gardner Minshew, our boy has a home. The only thing I'm worried about is him somehow getting elected mayor in the time that he's there. I think that he's just crazy enough to somehow make that happen. And then they signed Christian Wilkins, a defensive tackle from Miami. 4 years, $110 million. I guess they got to do one of those awful deals every year. And this year it's Christian Wilkins' turn. Best of luck to you, my boy. All right, Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, we all know Chris Jones' $95 million deal. They got Hollywood Brown from Arizona. I guess he's looking for an exit. Yeah, doesn't it? It totally makes sense. Like, he could like walk into the wrong casino. He could walk to a random casino one night, pull a random slot machine, and the grand prize for actually getting all the bars is congratulations, you're the mayor now. Oh, also, the Chiefs got Irv Smith Jr. at tight end. They re-signed Drew Tranquil, but for the most part, honestly, even though they have lost some people, I'm treating them like it's the Chiefs. They'll be fine. Okay, Denver Broncos. I am not going to touch because once again, they have an ownership group that does not care about loss prevention. So we'll just go over to the AFC South. Go to the Houston Texans, and they've lost a lot of people. I kept seeing all the phrase acquired from the Texans frequently is like everybody's discovered, oh, they got good, let's strip them for parts. But they did get Danielle Hunter, who has 48 million guaranteed for 2 years. That also got a holy shit, but written out as holy shit. They also gave 2 years, 20 million to Danico Autry, who, yeah, he did have a career high in sacks last year for the Titans, but he's also 34 years old. So, get your money, man. Let's hope you stay healthy. They, oh, they have Tommy Townsend, by the way, 2 years, $6 million. Jeff Okuda snuck onto the team, so I apologize in advance, Texans. Don't know why you're giving him a chance. The game of musical chairs never ends, folks. And you got Lonnie Johnson Jr. for special teams. Everyone else is, you know, goods and bads, ups and downs. So far, New Orleans still feels like they win. Now the Colts. Oh, the Colts. Joe Flacco is the new backup QB. I mean, does any more really need to be said than that? I mean, yeah, they did extend Michael Pittman, and Zaire Franklin and Kenny Moore got their extensions. They got Raekwon Davis to give some veteran help to Grover Stewart on the line. 2 years, $14 million, ain't bad. But like, all I'm gonna say is that if Anthony Richardson gets injured again this season, I think we got it wrong. I think the most dangerous QB in the NFL might not be Kirk Cousins. It's Joe Flacco. Yeah, speaking of the Jacksonville Jaguars, True North, I really hope they don't waste Trevor Lawrence. It would be a real shame. I mean, Ark Armstead, eating up payroll for 3 years and $51 million. They get Gabe Davis from the Bills. I mean, I understand what they're going for. This is actually something I can ask you, True North. A bit of perspective. Darnell Savage. The Jags picked him up after they released Jenkins. They needed some extra help. Do you think Savage is worth it for them? And also, they did lure Ronald Darby away from Baltimore with a 2-year deal, so they get some help in the secondary. And they also brought in wide receiver Devin Duvernay for return help. They overpaid, says Luke. Okay. And even True North thinks they overpaid. All right. Okay. Well, you heard it from the Packers fans. Good luck with Darnell. Oh boy. And of course, the Tennessee Titans. 4 years, $92 million for Calvin Ridley. This is me making it rain with my invisible, never-ending pile of 100s. Wow. And then I look at, they also get Tony Pollard. So, but, they redeemed themselves with Mason Rudolph. So, they bring him in. I cannot fault them for anything else. The only other two that are really of note is them getting Lloyd Cushenberry away from Denver for 4 years, $50 million, $26 million guaranteed, and Kenneth Murray Jr. just so they can get some veteran on the veteran help in the linebacker core for defensive play calling. So we'll see. We will see. Hopefully, the mailman and Mr. Ridley continue to do good work together. All right, up to the north we go. Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry. I guess that one's not really too bad. 2 years, $16 million. It's not the worst contract in the world. They saved that money for their sack leader from last year, Madubuike. He got paid. Look it up. Let your eyes boggle for a moment. And once again, speaking of the NFL musical chairs, goodbye Tyler Huntley and hello Josh Johnson. That's right, he's the backup in Baltimore now. One thing I will give them credit for, True North, is keeping their defensive line intact from last year. They managed to re-sign all those guys. So, and hopefully, they can even take steps to improve it. Yeah. Well, MKI, that would have involved making an effort, and sometimes that's just not worth it for the teams. Yeah. And that's the fun thing about all of this, We can, imagine how it will look on paper, but we're not truly going to know until the start of the season. Hell, based on who might unfortunately go down the preseason, we might not know. Oh, I'm not even going to think about that because we're talking about the Bengals next, and they are a little bit touchy when it comes to the injury subject. I noticed in all the major things that I was checking up on with the Bengals, not a single one of them was on the offensive line. I mean, Mike Gesicki for 1 year, 3.25, that's kind of a stretch, but they got safety help from Geno Stone and Von Bell. Trenton Irwin for 1 year, $2 million. Zach Moss to maybe replace Joe Mixon or maybe one part of his game. And then 2 years, $26 million for Sheldon Rankins. Another occasion of the Texans defense getting picked clean by the Vultures. I mean, if there's a QB that has the potential to win the all-time wasted talent award right now, it's Joe Burrow. If only for the fact that it seems Cincinnati is unwilling or unable to protect him. The St. Louis Battlehawks and Justin Fields. Hell, he might do well in the UFL. I won't tune in for that because it's the UFL, but, best of luck to him. Where the hell is Mr. Justin Fields right now? Oh, he's still listed as a QB for the Bears and all the other things, but wow. Yeah, they always disrespect Tyler Huntley. That's just what being Tyler Huntley is all about, is a life of disrespect, unfortunately. Oh. Yeah. Josh Allen, that's a separate unfortunate thing. We will not touch on it here because it's not really in the purview of this little coverage, but maybe someday. For now, we move on to the Steelers and the QB battle that we are all waiting for. Kenny Pickett versus Russell Wilson. I know you're excited. I know I'm excited. I mean, also good on them for getting a punter, Cameron Johnston, in case you were wondering. 3 years and $41 million for Patrick Queen from the Ravens. And they got Dante Jackson, cornerback from the Panthers, by giving up their receiver, Deontay Johnson, and a 7th-round pick. Steelers fans and Vikings fans, I think y'all, I'll give y'all the permission to take the season off. Take it easy. Don't worry about this year. All right, now the Cleveland Browns. Not going to give a shit about them until Deshaun goes away. On to the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills. Wide receiver Curtis Samuel. 3 years, $24 million. Could be worse. They did list him. They did give him some incentives. Only gets $15 million guaranteed. So I do love the logic of them signing Nicholas Morrow on a 1-year deal. They played against him last year at a game where he walked all over them. So they were like, yeah, let's sign him. And of course, Mitch Trubisky, now a backup for the Buffalo Bills. Oh, goodness. All right, who do we do next in the AFC East? Yeah, we'll do the Miami Dolphins. They're, meanwhile, stacking up on defensive tackles. The one that was most notable for me was Neville Gallimore, simply because he's out of Ottawa. They signed Jordan Poyer to a 1-year deal after the Bills released him. 1-year deal for Shaquille Barrett. Yeah, it is a whole lot of one-year coin flip deals. The only real exception is them getting Jordan Brooks out of Seattle, 3 years, $30 million. Could be worse. Dude's known as a great tackler, so holy shit, Kenny Pickett got traded to the Eagles? Oh, wow. It is hilarious. When I was looking up Justin Fields to see if he had been released, all the news stories that came up on the Google search were about how Kenny Pickett would be an ideal trading item to get Justin Fields out of Chicago. Some shenanigans between the Bears and the Steelers, and I don't know what the hell. Yeah. Well, this is when I looked it up like 5 minutes ago. So, and this was them bringing up results from Steelers blogs. Yeah. Yep, Chad. That may be the unfortunate, sad truth. Nobody wants Justin Fields. No, we already talked about the Chargers, Angie. There's no reason for you to be sipping now. All right. The New England Patriots. Because the Miami Dolphins look like they're about to have a messy off season. I I'm glad to see Jacoby Brissett still has a job. I like that. Um, it was a little odd that they gave Anthony Jennings such a big contract after a 1 year audition, subbing in for Matthew Judon, but hey, let's hope he earns it. I'm still a little shocked that they managed to get Antonio Gibson away from Washington. Maybe he really wanted to leave. The only thing that made me kind of sigh a little bit, and I don't know why, was them signing Austin Hooper. I still haven't figured that one out. And now, the New York Jets. I do like them getting the O-line help that they have. Morgan Moses and John Simpson. Simpson from Baltimore, and Morgan Moses, I didn't write down where he was from. Yes, that is where Tyrod Taylor is now. So I got some corner depth with Isaiah Oliver from the 49ers, but honestly, as long as Aaron fucking Rodgers is on that team, like, with the amount of times that he has not only put his foot, but shoved his entire leg somehow up to the thigh, maybe even the butt cheek. And I was just shocked that they didn't cut bait with him after all last year when he was yammering about how he was going to return early with some great new recuperation technique and walked it all back after the Jets got eliminated. Like, I would not blame any Jets fans for just simply disowning that fucking team. Yeah. Yep, we are I'm assuming that we think we're already okay on safety because we got Branch and maybe one of the possible free agents in our secondary to sign them back, but whew, the whole goddamn VP thing. And not only that, a possible rumor of a ticket with a guy, an anti-vaxxer nut who got disowned by his own family. Yeah. God. And all I wrote was, the Jets are fucked. Finally, the Green Bay Packers. Buckle your pants. So, there are things I like about what the Packers have done this off season. I like that they went out and immediately got a replacement for Aaron Jones in Josh Jacobs. 4 years, $48 million. A little bit younger, so has good production. He gets to get out of Vegas, and we get to have a nightmare for the next few years. I like the fact that they re-signed Keyshawn Nixon because he was stability at the return position, and we got to be nervous when he was out in the field, so I really like the Packers doing that. I looked over the careers of Adam Stenavich and Hafley, the new offensive and defensive coordinator, respectively. I think It looked like a respectable pick. It looked like respectable selections. One guy who's essentially been working through the ranks in the team, so I'd say he knows it real well. And I like the pick of Halfley. I'm wondering, and I completely respect the Packers for this, if they're doing this, if they're bringing him in for his recruiting eye, maybe more than his coaching. Because that was the thing that I noticed people bringing up a lot when they were talking about this guy Halfley was the great recruiting job that he did in bringing players to his teams. So if that's a nice secondary benefit, you know, big thumbs up for the Packers on that front. You know, hopefully A.J. Dillon gets the most of his second chance. You know, I'm not going to root against him. The thing I do wonder about, and William, if you're still here, maybe you can chime in on this. Xavier McKinney, I know formerly from the Giants, they give him 4 years, $68 million for a safety. Would you consider him worth that money? Big Star season is not having to deal with that prick anymore. Hell yes. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's true, but it is also the nature of the game. You know, I mean, any of you can attest. I was taken aback and more than a little down when, you know, Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift were gone last year, especially Jamal Williams. I hate that he's getting wasted on the Saints right now, but oh well. True North considers Xavier McKinney to be the biggest pickup. McKinney gave up 0 touchdowns on any passes through on the receivers he was covering all season. So you'd say the pay is fair. And Luke was hyped when the McKinney news broke. All right. So, yeah, I would say so far, yeah, just from the ones that stick in my head, the Packers and the New Orleans Saints. Packers by making some good signings and good choices, but also the New Orleans for just doing just enough and not overdoing it like some teams have. They're doing the best so far with the free agency period. Honestly, the only thing I can think MKI is just fix him to keep his mind from wandering. You wanted the Giants to give him a similar contract. Well, I am sorry that they didn't, William. That's unfortunate. Hey, don't worry about it, Chad. I am never going to be one to get on people's grammar when, despite how appearances may be, I struggle with talking all the time. All the time. So, as long as the meaning gets through, then the communication is okay. I just realized that the draft is coming up soon. Oh, that is going to be its own insane event. Oh boy. But first, we got a lot more to get through. There's going to be a lot of NCAA coverage over the next couple weeks. I apologize if y'all get drowned in it. Yeah, we've also got the CFL draft going as well. So we're going to do our best to do something for that. Oh, we're going to have ourselves a jolly good time over the next month or so. And I think I'm probably going to wait until afterwards to do the next Ass Talk, because there'll just be so much to cover, and I won't want to just be repeating things over and over again. So yeah, we'll meet back in another month just to, get a look, I think, at the upcoming start of the playoffs for the NHL. Go over the highs and lows of March Madness. Hopefully some good ones for both the men's and the women's tournament. We'll keep our fingers crossed, and we will see how the NBA playoffs could shake out. Plus, baseball season coming up. So, hey, just because the professional football's gone doesn't mean we can't keep busy. Keep ourselves a little bit sane while True North goes to find a CFL mock draft. Oh, no. Well, my apologies. My apologies, Foster. Sometimes that is the way it goes. As one asshole to make a mockery of the whole experience in some dumb, awful way. Well, I think that is going to do it for me this afternoon on Ass Talk, because I've run out of things to talk about, and I don't want to keep you any longer. Hopefully this gave you a couple nuggets of truth in the little noxious cloud that we live in that contains all the sports prognostication that we take in every day. Thank you very much for being here on Ass Talk on 106.9 Click FM. Yeah, Tennessee got upset by Mississippi State. Nuts. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow for the Big East Championship. And good night, Milwaukee, wherever you are.